Yo, what's happening YouTube family? It's your man Jeremy Doodoo here, and in this video I want to talk about whether or not you need to learn how to code if you want to work as a UX designer. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this is because early on in my career I remember I was really confused about whether I needed to know how to code or not. The reason for that is because the UX job applications I would look at oftentimes said that you needed to know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Ruby on Rails, Angular, visual design, graphic design, how to use design systems, and it was all over the place. The impression that I got was that you needed to be Michael Jordan if you wanted to work at a technology company. Looking back in hindsight, just the world how it was at the time, I think the reason it was the way it was is because a lot of companies started to understand that UX was important, but they really weren't sure what responsibilities and tasks UX designers would cover, right? So it was like the Wild Wild West, and companies didn't know that looking for Michael Jordan of tech, it was like a 1 in a million chance. Over the past 6 years of me working as a designer, I've spoken to hundreds of designers in the industry, and I could maybe recount 5 that were unicorns, which means that they knew how to design and code. You can learn how to code if that's something that's a hobby for you, but if you work at a medium or large size company, will you need to code in order to get your job done? No. There are dedicated teams of engineers who code, right? They do the front end development and back end development, whereas the UX designers are usually focused on design. So we focus on the end-to-end product experience. Oftentimes when we learn new skills, we think about learning those new skills because of various interests, right? Various self-interests. So you might be assuming that if you learn how to code, it can get you paid more as a designer. And to answer that, no, it probably won't get you paid more as a designer. It's a nice skill to have, but is it going to increase your pay? I've never seen that so far in my career at a company. Another self-interest I can think of is that you probably want to become a freelancer of some sort, where you as a business person don't have to hire a developer, which can cost thousands of dollars, and you want to save some money, right? So you might be the person who designs the website or the mobile application, and you also do the coding yourself. I've met a couple designers who do that, right? And because they want to save money and gain more profit. So yeah, you can totally do that. But I think at the end of the day, you just really need to be honest with yourself and understanding your motivation to learn how to code. I will say this just from my own personal experience: knowing the basics and speaking the same language as developers will really help you in your journey and your pursuits of becoming a UX designer. And when you get in the industry, yeah, it'll make your job a lot easier, because the problems that I oftentimes see is not that the designer doesn't know what they're doing or the engineer doesn't know what they're doing, but oftentimes we don't speak the same language. So a designer may not know what an API is, whereas an engineer, they might not know why pixels are important to designers, right? They might be thinking in terms of percentages and rems or M's, right? So yeah, I feel like when you understand the basics, it's much easier to communicate and be a more effective designer. I remember I went to Brazil, and even though they speak Portuguese, with a little bit of Spanish that I knew, I was able to get around the city, right? So if you know how to code basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I feel like it'll make your job much easier as a designer, because you understand the language, you understand some of the limitations and some of the opportunities of what can be done. Alright guys, I hope that this video was helpful. If you want to pursue learning how to code, but your goal is to become a designer, let me know why that is. Is it because you think that all designers need to know how to code? Is it because you're just interested and it's a hobby? Let me know down in the comments below. I love to learn from you guys. I love hearing about you guys' experiences and your journeys as well. So yeah guys, I hope you're doing well. Peace and love. I'll see you guys in the next video.